All right, guys, you already know what it is. Back for yet another episode of the Laymans Project. And
It big on Vaughan chest.
it's anyway, we start bad already.
It's cool merch.
No problemo.
Says your
Franz
chest
and
bigger
I
than
are
mine.
having a nice little drink with our guests. So we're gonna take a cheers, and then Franz is gonna bring us all in.
Well, first of all, welcome to Chateau Gillezeau.
Chateau
We not
Gillezeau.
in the
Say it with the
C-suite tonight.
accent.
My French accent not that good enough.
Chateau Gillezeau.
Chateau de Gillezeau.
But of course.
De Gillezeau.
Let's go.
Apparently that's how you pronounce my name in proper French.
I do
Gillezeau.
even, I know.
I was taken to task on that by a pedantic friend of mine. Love you, D.
Make out.
Yeah, no, well, she know who she is. Patrick Aquing is a young farmer hailing from the southwest peninsula, specifically from the small village of Chatham. He recently completed the Youth Agricultural Homestead Program through the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. He is the owner of Hummingbird Homestead, an agri-produce farm/supply company, and part owner of Roots Agri Store, located in Chatham as well. He is currently advancing his education, training, and experiences in agriculture via a BSc in Agriculture and Entrepreneurship at UTT's Eastern Caribbean Institute of Agriculture and Forestry, in order to be a farmer known for safe, organic, healthy, nutritious, and delicious produce. Patrick, welcome to the Laymans Project.
Living without you, baby.
I can't live without you, I can't be without you for too long. Cause when I'm around you, I feel like the heavens is coming down.
I know we need to be in the habit of talking over this, you know. Like,
Why
why?
is so loud?
I know it's loud, but just imagine, like, you know, when we actually make it big and it have really people clapping and getting on. Like, what you gonna do?
You pause for applause. You don't speak over the applause.
Nobody's remember they'll be applauding so much now. You have to actually be like, all right, guys. All right. Like, that's my dream, you know. Remember how John Stewart used to do it?
But I mean, even in those studios, you'd have the applause sign and everybody.
And then you'll
applause.
cut it off.
Cuts. Yeah, and then they'll
Yeah.
have some burly studio man like but yeah. It always amazes me the amount that goes into farming. For some strange reason, I only feel like you need a tractor and, well, land, of course.
Land, of course, we established
Certain
this.
infrastructure is...
Don't just start. You need more than a shovel and a bucket.
Whoa.
So, well, we'll start at the beginning. So, you're a young gentleman, younger certainly than Vaughan and I, as
33 for now.
well established.
Yeah,
33
right.
for now.
I like that.
33 for now.
Now my bird
Who
is
knows?
actually
Time is an illusion. We established that already too. And as we were discussing with Devon, Green Bartender, agriculture and farming is not something you typically associate with young people.
Youth, yeah.
Yeah.
And so what got you interested in agriculture and farming in the first place?
Well, my grandfather was a farmer. He had cocoa hunting and, father took over. He used to do short crops, ginger, sorrel, sweet peppers hunting. Then he left agriculture to work in the oil fields. So he sold all his equipment hunting when I was about 6 years old or so. But I still have memories of driving the tractor, bouncing down fig tree hunting, and,
Right.
being there with pops. I never saw it as something I'd do because my mother always discouraged me from it. She's like, "Oh, me make no trying to walk in the hot sun and this and
Right.
that."
That's because
No, this is the stereotype that
I was
we are
gonna get
accustomed
there. Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
What the family thinks of it as well, because that is the stereotype. You know,
Yeah.
is backbreaking work, not necessarily a lot of money in it. And of course, with the academic culture that we have in Trinidad, you are either a lawyer, a businessman, a
Yeah,
doctor,
that's
these
a
days an
success.
engineer,
Yeah.
or you are nothing.
Yeah. For me, I actually wanted to be a pilot growing up, and it just didn't work out, And my parents didn't really encourage me in that direction. You know, they tell me,
They didn't encourage you with the
after
pilot thing
nah,
either.
they find, they wanted me to follow more formal education. Because I had two older sisters that, they went through the whole thing. CXC, A-levels, college, and, they're doing well for themselves. So she wanted me to follow the same path. So I ended up going to university for geography and geology, actually, in University of South Florida in Tampa. And Pops got ill in my third year. And I wanted to move back home to be there for Pops. And because he needed care, And he didn't want anybody taking care of him. He also took care of his father. So, I felt like if, he kind of deserved it in his own. So.
Yeah, I could relate to that. I mean, as you get older, you kind of understand that's where the empathy kicks in now. So like I wouldn't. It's like out of the question for me to put my mother in a home then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no shade to anybody who's doing that. I don't know everybody's circumstances, but like I would put every and anything, and I already had like these discussions with my wife and things like my mother can't. I had to be right there because again I just how feeding off of like your vibes and whatever. My mom real support me. Like, real went through it or try all kind of, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I feel you. And as you say, you felt somewhat obligated because, as I say, he took time off of work. He had stopped working.
Yeah,
he quit his job actually.
To drive a tractor and all to,
So I kind of felt like, I'm supposed to be there for Pops. And it's while I was with him, and he sitting down and he talking, because he was paralyzed, legs down, And he would talk to me about agriculture and things, because I tell him, well, Daddy, you have land, it didn't make sense to just sit down there.
I don't stop what I'm doing. What we gonna do?
Well, not really, because at the time, I was still employed with Trinma. I was casual at the time, so I had no hours to make or anything. It's just, supplementary labor. So I just took time off to other people for them to call.
Right.
Just take my name off the roster kind of thing. So after he passed on, I started back working there and everything. But then it come to a point where I was looking to close down. And I was like, boy, it has something, I had to find something to do. And seeing how Trinma kind of treat me with the whole retrenchment and thing, I couldn't see myself working for somebody again. So, well, Daddy had the land. People just make it in agriculture, He chose to come out for whatever reasons and thing, but I'm going to see if I could make it for myself. Tell myself how hard it could be too at the same time,
How hard could all this hard work be?
No, well, I wasn't afraid of the hard work.
Right.
So that wasn't like a super big factor. It wasn't like this big mountain to climb kind of thing. It was just more so the knowledge for me because, as I say, my father came out of it when I was 6 years old. So it's not to say I grew up in my developed years. Watching
where you going to pick up your techniques from? And
yeah, I didn't have that example before me. So I was lacking a lot in the experience and the knowledge and everything. But I had the most important thing, as Frank was talking about, I had the land available to me. He ended up leaving it for my sister, but, she doesn't allow me to use it and stuff,
Right.
She encouraging, she's well supportive. Both my sisters, they support me a lot.
Okay, that's good.
And
shout outs to you girls, man.
yeah. So it's actually while taking care of Pops, I was indulging in some herb and it had some seeds in it. And just, out of curiosity, took it because
plant some
at the
seeds.
time, yeah.
Right.
Because as I say, at the time Pop's paralyzed, so you need 24-hour care, So I just there with him. I don't have nothing much to really do.
Might as well take care of another.
Might as well stay relaxed.
Yeah.
So, is seeing how the plant respond to the treatment and care. And it was the first thing I ever grew. So, is seeing how it develop, seeing the stages it go through, seeing it actually bear flowers and fruit, It was an amazing process. And I was like, well, everybody make this seem like it's the hardest thing in the world to do. So, you know, what about tomato and thing, boys? You know.
Let me learn to do that now. No, you'll never see me again.
So definitely
tell
so
yourself
Georgia.
that, man.
No, I will pass on vibes. He have a real nice he have a nice setup.
Shouts to the Green Bartender.
Shout outs to Devon, man.
Greenbartender.com, go and buy the man's
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
Let's
Support,
get into
support.
Italy.
So yeah, you know, and then when I started actually getting active on the land, you know, it was a challenge because
The herbs
as I
was
said-
easy, but the tomatoes were a little more.
No, I mean all of that was in my backyard, so it was easy. But talking about when I actually went on the
Had a
land
work
itself,
land.
you know. So I had some equipment. Cause my father still had
Shout
a
out the
whacker and
manager,
thing and
too.
whatever, but we didn't have no tractor and thing. So it was me, my cousins, some friends, you know, just cutting and clearing and thing. Two of my brethren had really stick with me in the beginning and thing and show me certain things and techniques because they had a lot more experience in it than me, you know. We planted some peppers, some chives, some celery. And, you know, we used to go down in the marketing point and sell. You know, in the beginning, it was kind of daunting because, you know, I tell myself, hey, everybody in point know me. You know, I went press. I went away and study, you know. Come on, we sell it in the market now. So, you know, that's Jones in the beginning.
If I tell you how much I love stories like this, because, like, what does it matter? I mean, in the end, what does it matter in the end?
It matters nothing because,
You know?
you know, people just support you, people just encourage you, people just see you. Yeah, they go have their questions, yeah, people fast, but I mean, that's part of the human, you know.
And one or two backside
Constitution.
might be like, watch this man.
No,
I leave
even
it
so,
better than
that's
And
part of
everybody.
the
And
human-
nothing against anybody, but like when we was talking with Pootie and the Saltfish, but I just know in my personality, you know, like I see you, I'll be like, so what going on, bro? I say you getting through, and like I really want to know now. So like, oh, I didn't know you was into farming or whatever, but you know, you're not going to bring down a man. You never know a man's situation.
no,
Look,
but that's a walk.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like when you have this kind of like that toity attitude, however, look what happened to people with petrotrin. You know what I mean? And that is the first time plenty of those fellas get the
Yeah, they get
like
a
the
wake-up
feeling
call.
they get so the roles reverse.
Yeah.
You're out to walk and now people coming at you like, boy, I hear petrotrin close down, what you gonna do, boy, and think. So then you realize like, yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe not dig up in people's business to start with. Now, like,
Yeah.
what's going on with you? You good? All right. So I
Yeah.
see like
And-
you're doing, and that is it.
And call that George there.
That is my only issue with like you will never see me in a press reunion or anything because it. And again, no offense, I don't remember you just culturally, and you'll use that press man, so you must know culturally that's just how it is now. It's like you have no idea how to have a discussion with people outside of that. No, like, hey, so what you doing? That's how it starts. Hey, so what you doing now? Like, bro,
Yeah, everybody just needs a measure.
right now, why is this woman hold a man? You know what I mean? Like that. I don't want to forget this because I forgot to ask Beans and now getting the chance to pick a next agriculturalist brains. Like I just one or two of the techniques now because I have no idea not even to start. Like if you was like one like you know, hey, I need a walk. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, cool, I'll bring it. Like I wouldn't know where to start. I could just lift up plenty things. You know what I mean?
And put them back down.
And put them back down. That is it. But like, remember these techniques and like, you know what I mean? I'm sure plenty of people don't know. They would just go in a plant store and buy plants and buy tomatoes and touch them up and it's like, yeah, that's right. But like, let people know what is going to tuna. Like,
They will also buy plants and bring them home and just let them dead.
True.
Because
That's part of the process.
as
Agriculture.
Vaughn looks around my house, but no, there was some tragedies.
yeah, I can
Not-
imagine because I don't know about you, but I actually, like, when I tell you no idea. And just to continue in the spirit of the Laymans Project, I must leave here with one or two little pearls, you know? So carry on.
Vaughn Rell just want to grow some things in his backyard. But
Facts.
yeah, so
Absolute
Well,
facts.
you bring it down to a home garden, a kitchen garden.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I mean, the average layman not going to be a commercial farmer. So first thing first is always, well, land prep, which should be on the bigger scale. But for home gardening, it might be your trough, your grow box, the little spot under your mango tree, the little piece of grass that are there, as the case might be. And you want to start by cutting the bush. You're clearing wherever bush it is, wherever grass, you bring it down close to the ground. Then you have the choices to make that if you want to follow more organic methods or more chemical methods.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are willing to use harsh chemicals would spray like a herbicide to kill the grass on top, and like a pre-emergent herbicide to kill wherever grass is. So, you wouldn't have as much weeding to do during the process.
Right.
Those who care more about the organics, you could use like a ground cover or something, a piece of tarpaulin, piece of galvanized anything, and just cover the ground. In about 2 weeks or so, everything dead on
Everything dead
have
anyway,
access
yeah.
to sunlight.
Right.
Okay. Facts. Yeah.
Sense.
And then after that is where you would manually prepare the ground, whether it is you use a fork or a hoe, depending on your soil type and everything too. Ideally, but as again, it's more for commercial agriculture where a lot of money and loss involved. But for home, you have a lot of wiggle room, so you mightn't do soil testing, or you might decide to you might use a substrate like Promix or cocoa peat or gravel, sharp sand, wherever soil it have outside, and once you pick your growing medium, you buy your seedlings or you set your seeds as the case might be, and you plant them up to the neck, as I call it, up to the first set of leaves, or a little bit of space,
Right,
not
okay.
straight up, because you could pick up soil-borne diseases and things, like when rain fall and splash and things. That's why a lot of tomatoes and things get diseases, especially all of the fungus.
Okay.
From there, you begin your journey of watering and fertilizing your plant, whether it is you're using manure, rotten wood, you're making a concoction.
Rotten wood. That's a.
Yeah. It's a lot slower release for manure, You'd see more people more using it for like orchids and, things like that, those decorative plants that, you see in all the roots outside the wire basket and things, so you don't need too much water and things.
So like coconut husk and.
Yeah, coconut husk is a good example, because it retains some moisture as well as, the texture of these.
Yeah, because my grandmother used to have a lot of stuff like that. So she had her hanging plants. She had like our yard was mango tree, pomerac, plum, avocado, and she literally. I mean, I don't think she had any big high tech methods. Just like old school folklore thing, Yeah.
And the methods had a lot of sense back in the day too, even though people might not understand why they do certain things. But,
Yeah,
I mean, you given
passed down.
Yeah, but he given validation to a lot of this stuff now, because as you say, the rotten wood, I remember seeing like she used to somebody hanging pots used to have like old wood and thing. Now
yeah.
to me, remember at that age, every single thing adults do is craziness.
It's weird.
So I like whatever, you know what I mean. But now you're talking about the dry wood, so that's why I jump on that and I'm like rotten wood, okay. So she wasn't crazy
About that.
about that. Yeah.
We'll focus on the commercial farming thing. The soil testing. So you said soil testing, and then you mentioned, obviously, diseases from the soil. No, not obviously. So take us through the soil testing.
Yeah,
and
remember.
what manner of disease would splash out a plant and kill it?
well, I would say more fungus than disease.
Right.
It'll have some, malignant bacteria and thing as well too, but you'll more get the fungi attacking the plants,
So what are you testing the soil for?
Oh, well, the soil test is really a nutrient test. So,
Okay.
you'll be checking the soil pH, for example. Most plants would thrive in a more acidic pH, typically from like, let me say, 5 to closer to 7, 6.7 and thing. What else? So pH, you'll be testing for the presence of certain nutrients like the big 3, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the NPK, because those are very important macronutrients for plant growth. So, the nitrogen is for leafy green growth, the phosphorus is for root development, and the potassium for fruit and flower development.
NPK. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound like a gang name.
It also have many other micronutrients that is do different things, that will help with plant immunity. Like calcium will help with the turgidity of cells, the strength of the cell walls and things, for example.
Turgidity of cells, boy, that's a phrase I have not heard in 20-something years.
Boron would help in some fruit development instances. It would tell you the soil texture, so the amount of clay, silt, and sand
Right.
that you have in it. What type of drainage your soil would have, for example.
And then, so
And
what
how your
type
soil
of
will
drainage
behave.
you may need to then
Well,
Because
Or you would-
additional
yeah.
drainage might be
Or
necessary.
you'd have to manage it, but that all depends on the slope of your land and thing as well. So that's another factor.
right.
So, if on extremely flat land, that's hard for me. Some people would choose to plant dasheen, for example, which needs to be in a kind of lagoon state, or rice, or
Rice, yeah.
something more like that. Or
So flatland is not ideal for
nah, you would think it's the most ideal thing
well,
because
well,
that's what
I
you'd
would
see,
think that, yeah.
but it's largely susceptible to flooding.
The flood, right.
Yeah. So that's the main downside. But it does make it easier for you to do a lot of crop maintenance and management techniques.
Because when I see like large-scale commercial farming on TV, which is obviously in the States mostly, it is flat
Flat.
land.
Yeah.
And you'll see them running their plow, and then they running the massive, whether it's fertilizers or herbicides that they spraying out through it's all flat land. But I
I
assume
think that's what he was talking about with the management, because that equipment will make it easier to manage.
Yeah,
They
because
could pull through the harvester.
it has so many different things you could do. So like, you're prepping land, your land going to be even when you plow, when you rotivate, everything. When you're spraying, you could run like the big sprayers you see with the many long arms, because it's not going up
that's
and
exactly
down
what I'm
underneath.
talking about.
Yeah.
Then to have like the robots that is used these days too. So it have like robots that could do the weeding for you.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. So
No, you're using the word.
He's saying, like,
you're using the word
robots.
robot, but I mean, it's not some kind of cyborg doing
Well,
weeding fair, right? It's like
working off of GPS and AI.
uh-huh.
So you'll have like your long straight rows like you're accustomed to seeing on like in American farmland. And it'll be going over the rows just like the other machinery.
What is it?
The robot is like it will look kind of like a farm attachment, like a tractor attachment.
Right,
kind of
okay.
thing. And the tractor has to pull it as well too, so it is a tractor pulled attachment. And the cameras look at the ground, and the AI distinguishes between the plant and the weed, and a laser zaps the heart of the plant. Just
What? Skynet is in farming horse.
Yo, because
That is what that sounds like.
I never knew that. So
yeah, it's incredible technology.
So,
like,
so in farming, there's robots and AI that could do
Yeah.
weeding for you.
That could do a lot of different things for you, like especially in like livestock, like in dairy farms and so forth. You could plant your cows with a chip that one lets you know where your cow is and wherever GPS, but also two, when the cow's udder is filled and the cow knows that it needs to be milked, and the cow build the habit of, right, when I need this relief, I go in there. So the cow will walk to the station for itself, enter the station will guide the cow, it'll wash down the cow, sanitize the udders, put on the suction cups, milk the
What?
cow. The cow getting feed and thing right there to occupy it by the time, to keep it docile and everything. And then the cow, it comes off the machine, gets sanitized again and goes back out to pasture. It have systems where like you could have your sheep and your goat outside.
it
and-
had nothing for me out there, man.
Well, so that's another point I was going to make. So all this technology, I imagine, affects employment at a
does,
stage.
It does.
Because you just described about 5 different men don't have a job because there's
Yeah.
AI doing all of this work.
Yeah, but I mean, on some of those farms, there's farms where it'll be like insane numbers of cows. So like we say,
Right.
like, they have 100,000 cows that they're milking. So even though they're still employing the equipment and thing, it still have people who there to either oversee or to
Maintenance.
troubleshoot. Sometimes the cow might act up. You might have to, deal with the situation. Might have to assist the machine. How to help further down the processing line, like in the warehouse, doing this, doing that, packaging. pasteurizing the milk as the case might be. So yes, it will cut a lot of labor jobs, but that's the toss-up with commercial farming because I mean at the end of the day, you could just blame everything on capitalism.
It's a business, correct? Yeah.
It's just trying to trim the financial fat, which is labor in this case. We could get robots to do it. It's easier to call the company to maintain the equipment, as the case might be, and we could fire the farm workers, or we only need 1/5 of our workforce, to support the systems as it might be.
Because I mean, if that allowing is to keep the price of your succulent vegetables down.
Succulent Chinese meal.
Succulent Chinese meal.
But I mean, these systems, of course, are expensive, but it's
I could imagine because you're talking about a literal Skynet robot zapping the heart of a plant and like moving on like. One of these days it'll be zapping us.
Yeah, one of these days you're like,
Zapping the
I
heart
fed
of
up
us.
zapping plants, bro. What'll happen if I zap a human? Bow.
And I mean, think about it. Like
This is vibes.
those bigger machines really look like they belonged on a farm, from the Terminator 2 movie. Like when they jump to the future. No? Okay.
I haven't seen that in a while, honestly.
Yeah,
so
seen it
I
like
can't join you on the.
Yeah, but if I talk about some stupid Jason Statham movie, hey, or Snatch. Or,
That I could. I'm with you on that. But nah, I haven't seen T2 in a long time. Where were we?
No, the technology integrated into agriculture.
Right, so but that's insanely large
Yeah.
American farms. So back to down here, we were talking land prep, soil testing, and then you choose, how did you phrase it, your growing method? I feel like that's
When I
not
was
the
talking about
that's,
organic
that's not the phrase. So there was the organic versus the herbicide.
It was organic versus the herbicide, chemical and stuff like
And then you would choose what you want to plant based on the land.
that. On the
That you have.
results of
Yeah,
the land prep, I guess.
Well, not just that, but
slope of the land as well
the
would
slope of the land too.
influence
Is it
things
flat
and, like,
land?
That is why men in pyramid and really farming planting, because after a while the plant could lean over depending on the weight of the bunch, and you had to support it and prop it up and all kind of
So what are your farm environment?
seasoning, that is what they're known for,
Seasoning, okay,
Chive,
okay.
celery, parsley, fine thyme, big leaf thyme, all seasoning, shadow benny, everything you get in, and it makes sense for them, because
Based on the land that they have.
'Cause it's
yeah,
very
imagine trying to
slow.
throw two crackers bag of pumpkin on that slope, you
Yeah.
tumble down.
That would be a scene. So, your journey then. So you got the land, you prepped it with your brethren and them, and then what did you were saying you all did peppers and scythe,
Yeah, peppers
etc.,
and
etc. And how did it evolve beyond that? Because right now I remember where we were. We were in the market. So how did it evolve from there?
I want to know about the hustle part. So like you grew it, you flip it.
Yeah, grow it and flip it in the beginning. Then I had a friend in the market who used to sell too, so that make it a little easier on me because it was just me and one brethren at that point. So it was easy to, just sell to him wholesale and
Right,
do the
okay.
thing,
So you had somebody who was already involved in the market.
Yeah.
And you all just sold to him. And
Yeah.
he,
So even though
Alright.
it was small amounts and thing, because we was no large grand scale or anything at the time, he would have always
So
supported us.
you was the crop plug. Nice.
So I always appreciate that support from him. Then by that time, Trinma closed down. So
So you had already gotten into the agriculture while still at Trinma.
yeah, I had started.
Right.
Started the land prep and everything, but the actual planting and everything started to happen the December. The end of December is when Trinma closed down. So by the end of January, I was starting to operate on some level of scale,
And like on average, the turnover, so you plant and you reap is what, like a month? About that?
Well, it depends. For seasoning is 6 weeks on paper. I say on paper because sometimes you might, due to your own fault or your watering system, as the case might be, you might underwater, so your plant not progressing as you'd want it to progress. Or insects might attack it, or fungus might attack it, or something in between, you know, depending on wherever your crop is, you know.
So let me say your crop is like something with a little more, let me say THC in it. So you wanna, that would be what, like slope, flat.
It don't really matter too much, you know, like, to be honest, you know. Ideally, you wouldn't want somewhere that's very waterlogged. It doesn't like a lot of water. Ideally, I would plant in like a pot or something, like a big pot.
You guys can thank me later.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I still consider myself an amateur in it because some men is really dedicated time and energy and bring it down to science and
Yeah,
things.
between me and you, and like, I don't want to really shout out no area or something, but I went, yeah, because I had the block hot. But I went on vibes some men, dog, that I talking about, you see like how you talking about the science, and when I tell you that actually blew my mind because, you know, you really hate to stereotype people and thing, but you talking to our brethren, Big Janks, Big Beard and thing, and he telling you about, what it is?
pH of the soil.
NPK. And these is men doing this. The whole neighborhood is pure galvanized, I telling you about.
You know what I mean? As you say that, just to violently cut you off, the next compilation video needs to be you saying, "Watch how my poetry is." Like you need to do.
How many yeah, I say that a lot.
Like you clip me saying, "Let's not bury the lead." You need to say, "Watch how my poetry is."
or literally, like we have
Carry on.
a counter for like every single time I say, whatever the case may
whatever
be.
the case may be.
Hate listening to myself say that. Like it's not just you guys. I hate it too, fellas. You know, but okay. For example, Devon study. You going abroad and study, and like we'll talk about like what made you decide to. Like, because your hustle going on, and then you went to go back into, you know, food and education. So I would like to know why that was necessary, but no, like, disrespect or nothing, but them fellas, I can't even stress how bad them fellas is without,
Nah,
like,
I know what
a
you mean. I know
formal
what you mean. And
education.
I really know what you mean. You know, and but the nice thing about that particular plant, it is respond well. So, you know, like, for example, you try a certain fertilizer, you would see how it would respond to the fertilizer. You would see, okay, again, plenty more leaves coming out. Leaf developing more, again, wider leaves, again, longer leaves. The stem getting thicker, you know. I seeing plenty more new budding sites, new growth sites. You know, things like that. So it's a plant that is respond real nice
So it's
now.
easily observable.
Yeah,
The experimentation that you're doing.
Yeah.
It. Right.
So it's really not that hard for you to get to a level where you consider yourself, I wouldn't say close to them men because, you know, they're doing it for a while, so they would see certain things you can't see until they reach a certain level. But you would quickly and easily reach a level by the time you reach your second or your third group where you more than satisfied with what you're bringing forth.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, if you're paying attention to what you're doing, you could get pretty good at it pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
it's just
You're
a
supposed to.
discipline. It's just
Unfortunately, you know.
You don't pay attention.
Like no. No matter what, I would do that, but it's like life, like how you will. If I sit down, if I run and anything, like my baby gonna jump through the window and bust up his mouth, and you know what I mean?
I mean,
And
plants
then-
really only need about, let me say, 3-4 minutes at a time from your entire day. You know?
What?
Yeah, because I mean, how often you really need to
You
check
could
your
find
plants?
3 or 4 minutes in your day to grow up a proper
I'm
grow
gonna get
forward.
my family lock up. You feel his kicks, dog. You feel his kicks.
Kindly bat in a legal crease.
Yeah, because
The
even
crease,
though,
the crease has been approved, bat within the legal
All right,
crease.
facts. Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
promote breaking the law on this.
No, but he talking about 12 minutes a day there, dog.
no, for real, because I mean, you just
I
really
like
need
the
to
maths.
check your plant.
I like the maths. I like the maths.
See how your watering going, see if your soil too dry, as the case might be. You know, once you're keeping not even very proper records, you know, like, all right, let me say every Monday is a feeding day, you know. And, all right, you know, I buy whatever fertilizers or whatever the case might be, I fertilize my plants. it good. And then you just make sure you get enough water, make sure you get enough sunlight, everything, you check it. The 3 minutes a day, a lot of it involved is really checking for fungus and insects. So, you're checking to see if you have like whitefly eggs underneath your leaves and thing or whatnot. Or you're starting to get bud rot, which is sometimes real discouraging to see because it could, really damage a crop if it goes unchecked, So that is where your consequences of your negligence is coming to play now.
I feel you. And
So
I ain't going to sell out all your secrets, but carry on first.
No, the fungus, the insects, that kind of thing. So, well, the first question: do you fall more on the herbicide side or the organic side?
Well,
I feel like I know
organic
the
and
answer.
inorganic, we keep it organic and inorganic because
Right.
it's a lot broader. I try to keep more to the organic side, but I'm not always above using certain inorganics depending on the situation.
Right.
So like if I have a big crop of tomatoes or something and I have like anthracnose fungus messing me up and the other organic fungicides I use are not really helping,
You
then I
have
need
to
use
resort.
something stronger
Yeah.
because
At the end of the
I
day,
invest money
Yeah,
here,
money,
yeah.
But there's also something called a pre-harvest interval that you have to observe when you're using these dangerous chemicals. So, for example, you might use a fungicide and it'll say re-entry period 12 hours, which means that you're not supposed to go back in the field until 12 hours pass because, the plant brushing on you, you get in contact with wherever fungicide drippings and thing after you spray. So,
It's like that toxic.
yeah, you're not supposed to, like, recently I started wearing swimming goggles when I spray because I find like the mask is not enough. I never used to notice how fine the particles is be flying back in your face till it's a night. Mosquito was real harassing my tail, but I said, nah, bro, I had to spray something for that mosquito, but. And I spraying with my headlight on and I seeing
it. Yeah.
And I was like, dog, I'm not feeling comfortable spraying anymore because I walking into this sometimes because you can't, because usually if the wind blowing in that direction and my plant's running so, I'll start from the end and come up walking backwards so the breeze taking most of it
Yeah.
away from it. But sometimes you'll get blowback,
The breeze
sometimes you
will
blow
turn.
into something and it ricochet on you. And that is why I started wearing swimming goggles because just imagining, them fine droplets mixing in with my eye fluids and
Yeah,
everything.
I like to tell you, like, your eyes is like, I want to say like a real costly disability to repair.
Yeah. As senses go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very
Yeah.
valuable one too.
I recently was speaking to I would like to get him to speak up because he was explaining it to me. I would like to get him on the show to speak about his experience and finance and something, but he had to do some work on both his eyes, right? And that is something like you're not gonna spend a lot of time negotiating the price with if you know, okay, it's going to cost this amount of money to like salvage your eyesight. Like you're gonna try to find the money.
You don't
to,
really want to go bargain basement.
Yeah, you're not
Eye
gonna-
surgery. Yeah.
You know what? Let me shop around, and it's like a man like, hey brother, I handling that fit.
Hey, soldier, you need an eye or
You need some
you need
eyesight.
some eyes.
Yeah, and he was telling me he got it. I think it was like publicly financed and whatever, and brought it down to. I really want to think I remember it correctly, but he brought it down to like $45,000 an eye, right? So I'm like,
So he needed work on both of them.
yeah, both of his eyes.
And I still find that, I still dipping my toe into the vast oceanized agriculture, because it's just like a whole new world that's opened up.
Serious?
Yeah. Because, like for example, remember how I tell you, because my father came out of agriculture, I didn't have the foundation that I wanted before I went into it, And after experiencing certain failures and thing, and like, because I did eggs for a while as well too, so for about 3 years.
Eggs? What
Yeah.
kind of eggs?
Like chicken eggs.
Chicken eggs, okay.
Yeah, layers. And I learned a lot on that journey. And the lessons was kind of costly because I learned a lot of things on my feet. And I find like that's my fault. I mean, the person wasn't really sending me wrong. He just didn't know as he wasn't as comprehensively knowledgeable about layer hens as he should have been or he wanted to be. And I was blindly just following him, which he wasn't trying to send me down a bad road or anything.
He just actually
He
you know,
just did.
Yeah.
blindly didn't blind. I mean,
you know, through a lack of knowledge, you know. So when I started learning certain things and I started showing certain things too, you know, because I was kind of like self-teaching myself and thing too. And I find like finding certain things was hard. Like even though I'm trying to watch a video on YouTube about something, it might barely go in depth in the direction I want to, but it would go in its own direction. So I was like, nah, boy, I feel like if I had to get more formal knowledge and education in this, especially with how my mind works as being a science student, passing through prez, tackling geography and geology at a university level, you know. I didn't feel like if I had enough time to get hands-on experience as I wanted to learn directly from that, so I had to get a mix now, you know.
just to cut you off, like geology, that was Zoe.
That was Zoe did that too.
And I wish people could see Zoe like next to
Next to Patrick. This is where geology could take you. There is no middle ground.
Shout
So,
out, big up you, Zoe.
Big up Zoe and
So-
Hart and Co Real Estate. So you mentioned furthering education. This calling it a course seems to
You're talking about
undercut it a little bit. That you just completed
program,
with the program with Ministry of
development
Right.
and national service.
So how did you get involved in that? I assume it was to fill some knowledge gaps.
And
Well,
what
I was
happened with the
hoping,
program?
I was
And then,
hoping.
take us through the program, because I saw when you completed it and realized all that was involved in what you get for completing it. And I mean, it sounds like an excellent initiative from the ministry.
It is an amazing initiative. Like, I'm looking at some of the online commentary and thing, and it'll have people like up the islands, you know, from St. Lucia, from Grenada, talking about, wow, they wish the government had a program
Could
like
do
this,
something like this, yeah.
you know? And
No, here, at least, well, I know what comes out of it, but I mean, tell us both what
What's the
went
name of the
into it.
program? And yeah, what?
okay, so it's the Youth Agricultural Homestead Program, also known as the YAP program. It's by the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. They also have other stakeholders involved, like the LSA, NEDCO, MIC. I'm missing somebody important, but shout out to them same way. Basically, it's a 2-year training course, where the first year is a certificate at UTT ECIAF. That's the Eastern Caribbean Institute of Agriculture and Forestry.
Thanks.
And they
You're like, Ekiaf, tell me more.
Yeah, me just being a
Say-
layman over here.
Say more words, please.
So at ECIAF, we got a pretty comprehensive training, you know. It had crop production, for example, animal production, livestock production, and agro-processing technologies. So, you know, we got exposed to different aspects of the agricultural industry. Like, we had a lot of labs and things where we learned to make wine, we learned to make like sweet dough and things, we learned to make jams, you know.
Did you all learn to make mead from honey?
I have a brethren who in the program, he was doing wine from before, but he had got his hands on some bitter honey from one of our instructors, and he had make a real nice mead from it.
I really want to drink a mead, boy.
I don't know if he still have.
That would be
but
like
I'll put you
a
on.
beer.
It's
Kinda, but
basically
from
made
honey.
from honey, yeah.
So not from
Instead
hops.
from like barley and
Yeah.
hops and, you know.
I really want to drink a mead.
Bitter honey. Yeah. I only want to drink. I also would like to drink like a mead, but just because I feel like it will come in one of them wooden mugs.
No, it should come in like a horn.
Yeah, like a cow.
Viking horn.
Yeah.
know?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And you have to yell angrily for it.
Bring me more Bring me another. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, in livestock production, we got introduced to different animals because at that point in time, I only had know about chickens from doing my eggs and thing, you know.
Oh, not know about chickens because you didn't tell. That didn't sound like it went so well.
No, it went well, you know. It's just, you see, the thing is, like, layer hens, they're very aggressive. And so, for example, you could have 1,000 broilers, that's the white chicken that you just buy for meat by the depot and everything.
Are they always white?
Yeah, because it's a particular breed, so it have particular advantages. So they develop a lot faster than other chickens. because they're bred to do so through selective breeding, you know.
I
Didn't know
also
that.
did not know. Okay.
So, like, for example, in the 70s, the size of a chicken was greatly reduced, you know, like the size that you would get a mature chicken at, you know. And through selective breeding, over the years, you know, choosing the genes that, the phenotypes that show for like larger breasts, you know, bigger thighs and legs and so on and so forth, as well as reducing the time for maturity. Because before I think it was like 5 months or 6 months, and now we have it down to 6 weeks. So
Wow.
you can get chicken from
Thanks, Colonel Sanders.
to an adult chicken in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's, if you feed it properly and thing, that could be
I was not
anywhere
going to
from
say, but
3.5
that's
pounds to
without
5 pounds.
any dangerous levels of hormones or anything.
The hormone thing is kind of a myth,
Right.
really and truly, because the chickens just grow so quickly that hormones don't really have the time to really work as you would want it to work. You're not going to see the development you want to see within a 6-week period. You're
Right.
going to let the chicken live for longer, which means more food, more cost, more care, you know. So it's just really selective breeding
Wow.
that is have them.
There's a whole lot I didn't know about a lot of things.
Yeah,
And me
I just
too,
enjoy
you know.
eating chicken.
Yeah, that is.
I had
Yeah,
no
like
idea I had no idea this chicken is only 6 weeks old.
That's the extent of it for me. Like I know, well, like what I know about chicken is that it could be stewed. Or fried.
I know if you cut the head off, it'll continue running around the yard for.
I really
a
tried to avoid
second.
details like that. Yeah.
I've seen it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's very fascinating.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it is.
You might
I
like
mean,
it, but I was
yeah,
talking
okay,
about
yeah,
being
yeah.
fascinating.
It's fascinating.
My morbid curiosity goes in a totally different direction.
Oh no, mine has always been there.
So, yeah, going back to Ekiaf, you know, we
Kind
learn
of Jeffrey-ish.
a lot of different things. You know, we learn like how to tell the sex in a rabbit, how to hold rabbits properly, because like the back legs real strong and the claws a little sharp. So a rabbit could kick you and like real scratch
Yeah,
you
yeah,
and dig
rabbit
you and
will-
thing, you
will
know, and they could real damage you.
Dig you up, yeah.
And sometimes there's bite, and you know the teeth is nothing to laugh at. So yeah, to be
Well, I
careful
know
how
that
you
teeth is
hold
not to
them.
laugh at, but I
rabbits-
didn't know rabbits was so
Rabbit serious, but you
dangerous.
said layers aggressive. They're aggressive to other chickens or to
The
people.
other layers. So
Oh, to other layers.
yeah, because of the whole egg laying situation, all of them enclosed
Right, the
in that area,
territorial.
the territorial,
Okay.
they're going to start to peck at each other. You're going to see feathers missing. Then you're going to see a hole above the cloaca. That's where the egg comes out. Because they peck in that area. And you'll see it getting bloody.
Damn.
And you'll see chickens walking around with big holes in their bodies because everybody they pass taking a peck out of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, it have ways to reduce it.
So yeah, well, I was not going. Obviously, there's ways. There's
Yeah.
I imagine a certain number of layers that you can have in a area.
I mean, yeah, that would help, but even with smaller numbers in a fairly large area, they're still gonna get a little violent with each other. So you could occupy them. So like one method
That's
is
like the
like
nicest way to say absolutely not.
No. Like I understand where you're going. With it, but you're wrong.
Everybody,
it's not gonna be as effective as it.
internationally, that is the best way to be like, well, kind of,
Yeah,
but definitely
kinda.
not that.
No, because I'm thinking of like piranhas. Like the more piranhas in a smaller area, that's when they get the whole piranha vibe now. But if there's fewer fish in that section of the river, they're not as vicious as well. You dip into any water and you lose your leg. You know what I mean? Like piranhas, just any.
It will definitely help. It
any
will
other
definitely
normal
help,
fish.
but you know, it's gonna be against your commercial goals. Basically,
Right.
you
Okay.
know.
Fair play.
So
Again,
There's
capitalism.
spectacles that it goes in the nose hole and it kind of covers the vision from forward, from seeing forward. So they're not really going to see the next hen in front of them and peck. They'll still peck blindly and things sometimes, but it's greatly reduce it. You know, you could cut their beaks as well.
So they have like little chicken Morpheus glasses.
It's more look like a kind of butterfly with like two stabby things coming out. So they just go in the nostril and actually like stab through, kind of.
Ooh, all right.
And
That's too
it's like a
bad.
little fine membrane, so it doesn't really hurt them too much.
Okay,
And,
okay.
you know, blocks the vision.
I was actually hoping that they would have little Morpheus.
And just sit there, red pill, blue pill.
No, because it's sticking through. It's sticking through your nose, so it's just like real cool.
Yeah, the cool. No, I was with you, but Patrick shut you down. So
Damn it.
no, like yeah, but
It's
not
like,
really.
yeah, it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
Like, but I like how you just chop it. You know, it's like, well, it's completely not that, but
But kind of.
you could apply your knowledge to any given situation you have. Like one of my lecturers used to say the best land to have, because everybody's like, oh, this soil type is the best, sandy soil is the best, loamy soil is the best, this one. And he's like, no, the best land is the land you have.
Yes, it's yours.
Yeah, you had to make it
It's
work.
very
Best
important.
land to have is yours. The second best land to have is your cousin own that your grandmother leave it for. And if you have a cutlass, that is my land now. Hey,
And I'm
stereotypes come from
sure
somewhere.
that Zoe would beg to differ.
And that's why you need a real estate agent.
100%.
Because you don't know whose land it is.
Heart and cold.
Heart and Co Realty. Big up
yeah.
Zoe.
So getting back to the program, crop production, they show us, because it was about 8 acres we was working on, planting cabbage, pumpkin, cucumber, bodi. We was maintaining, the school has a orchard, an orange orchard, so we was maintaining the orange orchard. We was exposed to real life hardships too, because there was times when the tractor shut down. So when we harvesting corn and cucumber and thing, we had to walk like 200, 300 meters from the farm to the processing shed, total it on your back and thing, and them girl and them in total, crocus bag of corn on the shoulders.
I am
Yeah.
almost,
Kill on them, boy.
I am almost positive that the program had like administration and thing in place to deal with that, but they were just like,
Nah, let them.
you guys, it's like Mr. Miyagi, like,
You
yes,
gonna
you
learn
need,
today.
you need to wash my car.
That's the reality
very
side too.
important.
The show had to go on somewhere or the other. So,
Yeah,
you had to
tractor shut down,
improvise,
fellas. What all you gonna do?
figure it out. We learn how to milk cows. We learn how to see about pigs, to cut pigs' teeth, because they have really sharp teeth when they're young. So sometimes they cut it to kind of reduce injury to the farmer.
Yeah,
I
instead-
said no farming sounds dangerous, though.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Sound like
I find
plenty
everything
hand injuries
dangerous,
at least.
Yeah, because-
you gotta wear your gloves. You gotta be safe.
Farming is like the opposite of what children's shows portray. Because children's shows be like, they always show you like, playing with
Animals
goats
real happy.
and bunnies and
Yeah.
Peppa Pig and all this time. Like at that age, Peppa Pig have like some vicious teeth.
Some sharp teeth that you need to
Yeah.
cut.
Yeah, and she was also like 7 foot tall, so she was a problem. You know that, right? She's like insane.
Peppa
tall.
Pig is 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
What?
What
Yeah.
shows you watching, boy?
I'm telling you, like not everything's skilled to the people and thing, but it had some episode or something with, I can't remember. I'll find it and send it to you, man. I'm not going mad.
I
but
think
just don't know.
no, it's not mine. I know where it is. Franz would know where it is. I feel it's that, bro. But
You feel you imbibe too much before you come on my show is what he's saying.
Well, it's
I
trouble,
feel
yes.
like it was farming a bit before you came here, and because where else are you gonna hear something like that? Peppa,
7 foot tall Peppa Pig.
bro, did you know that Peppa
If I didn't
Pig
leave my
was
phone over, so I'd put it
7
up now and
foot
show
tall?
you.
No, well, Senate and Bond could include it in an
So that mean her,
Yeah,
so that mean her
you'll see it
dad
pop up like a meme or
is
something.
her
He's
dad is like
9
a
foot
mutant
easy.
giant
Easily
you change the bulb
25
just
feet
by,
tall.
because Peppa Pig's dad is like twice. If you scale it up.
He's plenty bigger than her.
Yeah, he's like.
And he's rotund as well.
That's what,
So
that's what I'm saying. I just don't
we're
about the
talking about a
height.
20-ton.
At least twice the height. I'm not talking about.
Nah,
He
three
must
or
just
4
marching
times the
across
height.
If
Yes,
Peppa-
Leviathan pig we talking
If
about.
Peppa, yeah, or orca pig. You know what I'm saying?
A whale pig.
Bro.
But yeah,
yeah.
So
This is like the
so
weirdest episode because we
So the program, this
keep off track, but
this have real segues in it.
It
delightfully
does,
so.
it does.
Is the Hennessy?
But like we learned that bulls are extremely
Big up France,
territorial.
man,
So, like all them Popeye
always
cartoon and thing where they say beware bull, you really had to be beware of that bull.
That
Do you grab the bull by the
makes
horns?
sense.
I personally
No.
never had to deal with the bull because it was literally like you don't have clearance to deal with the bull, so you have no business being in the bull pen. You're here to clean cow pen, you're here to feed cows. Yeah, do not go by
Stay
the
away
bull.
from the bull.
Lecturers will feed the bull. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because you don't have the.
Say
you
no
don't-
more, sir.
You
I
don't,
don't
you
need-
don't have the
Yeah.
complexion to
I
deal with
don't
that.
need any more excuses
I'm
not
like,
to
I'm
go
from
by
Chatham,
that
boy,
bull.
you know how to see
Yeah.
about cow. Nah, I'm not going through that.
That's
man,
something Stuart would do.
It have a reason to tell him I
Bad
don't
man
do
don't
it
take
now.
no instruction from nobody, boy.
Boop.
And then Stuart
Yeah.
would just wake up. Yes, so
Yeah,
you've
like
been
madness.
concussed for
Yeah.
the past 2 weeks.
We're in the hospital.
Yeah. Then We learn how to do ultrasounds on sheep and goat. You know, how to check temperature, how to restrain them.
Is it true that sheep don't make goat?
100% true. 100%
The
true.
man now say
100%
sheep and goat, boy. sorry.
But a good way to separate the
I
sheep from the goat
apologize,
is to look
guys.
at the tails.
Yeah, I apologize too. That was low fruit.
Yeah, a good way to tell sheep from goat is to look at the tails. Sheep, the tail is hang down and droop down. Goats, the tail is be perky and upright.
Well, like when they're young, I guess.
No, straight true.
Yeah, but I feel like it gets easier to tell them apart when they're older.
Yeah. Is it kind of you mix up sheep and goats? I don't think
Nah.
I've ever mixed up sheep and goats.
Nah, never.
I don't know the last time
I
I've
didn't know the
actually seen a
difference
sheep.
before, because you know, like sometimes you'll see some foreign sheep that will look kind of like goats because of how the horn shape and everything, and you're not accustomed
Right, okay,
seeing
yeah.
sheep with big horns and things.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Trinidad,
yeah.
You know. So before I was educated as such, I didn't know the difference. And then I remember coming across a video that I saw before I had the knowledge and being like, hey, there's clearly a sheepdog, you know, like, no one knew the difference.
And they're
you
like,
know.
they're like, well, yeah, but actually,
Actually, no. Because look at the tail.
But yeah, so you know, with the program too, it also had agribusiness and farm management courses and thing as well.
So I was gonna ask about that as well, because I mean it's a business.
Yeah.
Right. You're not doing this for fun.
Yeah.
You want to make money. So I assume that the course would also lean into that as well.
Yeah.
So what about that were your big takeaways?
Well, record keeping. Record keeping is everything, and you wouldn't believe how many farmers do not do proper record keeping. You know, and it will save you a lot of problems, a lot of stress, because with proper records, you could go back in your records and be like, oh, the reason that I experienced in this chemical burn on my plants is because I
Quantity,
didn't water on so much
timing.
a day.
yeah.
I spray too much, as the case might be. You know, so by so worker end up spraying and he end up doubling the dose by mistake. So you're sure that is the problem, or you know that is why you're seeing certain fungi and insect infestations, because you know you didn't apply this particular insecticide in time. You know, or for example, if you're going on a bigger scale beyond just hustling on the side of the road or the market, as the case might be, and you want to go to the export level, you know, a lot of these companies want to see what your records look like. They want to see everything from how you do your land prep to, you know, the chemicals you're using, the methods you're using, the variety of the tomato you're using, whether it's like we say Delhi or Calypso or 005 or wherever.
So they can be assured of the quality of your product.
Yeah.
Okay?
So, you know, they show that if you're following this regimen with your plants, that this is the quality of produce they get in, and they're not wasting time by doing business with you. You know?
Yeah, you want to buy tomatoes from you and the tomatoes. making people like experience headache.
You know? Or like contracts. Let me say, chief called me and they were my seasoning or my hot peppers, as the case might be. I had to meet certain quality standards. They might send somebody to visit my farm. And
You could actually go ahead and say whatever the case may be, you know. It's
what do you mean?
very liberating.
And
You just want somebody else to say it,
yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
to feel validated.
for example, I was doing a course, because the ministry has these courses through the Extension Training and Information Services, where they'll teach you a lot of agricultural stuff. So like say the middle of the month or towards the end of the month, these courses will be announced on the Facebook page and you could sign up. So like if there's a course on how to do irrigation for a farm, how to service your waka and to do small engine repairs, how to do grow box gardening, how to do hydroponics.
I was gonna ask you that, you know, because like how the tractor shut down. Like, do you think because and after the course you went and decided to further your education in agriculture?
Yeah.
But you strike me as the kind of person that would see the benefit of knowing a little mechanical work as well. If you know.
Yeah, but
do
to be
you
honest,
not use a lot of machinery?
I'm at a level where I have a lot of machinery, you know, so all of my tools would be hand tools or, you know, small engines. So like, for example, whacker, mist blower, pole saw, them kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't own anything bigger. I want to get a tractor, but that's a big investment, you know. So for the time being, I know I'll hire somebody to do the tractor work for me. that more economical than having to own and maintain a tractor and, you know.
But like, what would be the pros and cons? Like, how would a tractor enhance your operation? Would it make sense or?
A tractor is everything, you mean? So like, for example, like as I was saying with land prep, like we say you have 5 acres of land to prep, you know. If you doing, let me say, 1 square meter in 3 minutes with a fork, a tractor doing 50 square meters in a minute, you know. So you really kind of need and want a tractor because
I guess that would depend on the amount of land you have, because if you
to own it, yes. To own it, yes. But to say, like, for example, you know, a 2-acre plot that I'm farming right now, if I wanted to do brush cutting, plowing, rotovation, banking, drainage, everything, wherever and wherever, on average, they might charge you like 900 a task per acre. So to rotovate an acre might be like 900 to 1200, depending on the area, depending on how good he is with the person, you know. And that saves many hours and many days of manual labor. Like half the work done there, because if I get everything done where I just had to come and chuck my seedling and thing now, it's easy to maintain after that. You know, it had a big set of hoeing and thing. And usually, let me say I'm doing a crop like seasoning again, or like melon or something that will come after like 3 months and bear for a little bit and thing. You know, as soon as that done, I might just pay the same man to come back and rotivate again. So, you know, things easy for me because I gain back everything to optimal planting condition before I jump back into the next crop.
I had to stop drinking, man, because like all I can think about is like how much I've matured now, you know. Because he just keeps mentioning hoes and hoe, and I just keep going quiet. I'm like, and I just think it's a long time I didn't sip a little Hennessy, and he's talking, and I just like mouth one. I'm just so proud of you
For not making one hoe
I
joke.
didn't even say anything.
And then
And then you just open the
and
front
then
up.
just
I'll still.
You had to bring up the hoe in the room.
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue behaving myself, guys. But yeah, so the maintenance of the tractor versus paying for manual labor, there's a huge contrast, because like with trucking and thing, people will be like, okay, you know you want to buy a truck, but a lot of people don't know, like, to fill up a tank for a truck to make a trip, like run grass, like sharp sand up Maracas, like that is cost you like $1,200 in gas. You know what I mean? So of course you would have to charge people to suit for making trips like that, but you know, like that's a cost that I wasn't even aware of. Like paying $1,200 in gas for like one trip is
insane. But like most people, like they will get a loan like from, like, say, the ADB or some other financial service, as the case might be, and they might buy a tractor. You still have to make monthly payments on it like a car.
as the case might be.
right, yeah.
You know?
Because I mean, it's a major vehicle purchase.
You know, and some of them is all kind of 300,000 and up, depending on the size and everything.
The size and
depending
the
on
brand and all that.
everything.
Yeah.
So you pay enough for that, and unless you're a full-time farmer that work in a certain acreage of land, you're not going to have enough work for that tractor.
Right.
So it might end up being that you do your thing in the morning and you hire workers and thing, and they handling certain things for you, and you might spend like the first half of the day doing tractor work for people. So,
Right,
you know,
okay.
You know, so by so farmer, he call you this one higher number, he call you, he where you do a work, somebody maintaining that area, the way you brush cut the area for them, you know, as the case might be, and bam.
So the investment in the tractor at that level would not so much be to work your land, but to be able to PJ yourself out to
Yeah, out of the debt. And I find that taking away time from my endeavor.
from your correct, yeah.
Is not an option.
That's what I was saying. So maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not the like. That's why I asked if a tractor would help your operation. But
Yeah, it would
it seems
definitely
like
help.
It'll help, but
it would
it's
definitely help.
it's
At the end of the day, it just depends on what you want to
cost
do.
benefits,
I know
yeah.
I don't want to go in that risk and that debt unnecessarily. You know, and I know I expecting X amount of money from this crop and thing when I'm successful, and it takes X amount of money for land prep and everything. So from this profit, just take away that one time, nice for that. More money go and come back. You know, to stress.
But I would, no, just me, the, hustler spirit in me. So I would just, like, even if it, like, let's say you take the risk and you tell yourself, hey, if I take this tractor, I could I could now provide tomatoes to my brethren and hit our next man in the market.
No, it's profitable, because as I say, look at the amount of money they paying you per acre. It's like brush cut or something, It have tractors coming with AC now. So, you in the AC, normal, cool, no jet stinging you and thing when you're passing over a certain bush and thing to cut it. So, jet just banging on your windscreen.
So imagine that now, you on the road causing traffic in AC and all that. Well, that is wicked man thing. I actually do not want a tractor to have AC in it. But I mean,
punishment for magnifying glass.
Yeah. That's all I could think of. As you say that, I was like, what? AC now?
Uncomfortable and causing me distress on this highway. No, boy.
So you could sit on in a tractor and do work for long periods of time. It's not like before where you just might have a canopy or something protecting you from the blazing sun, but So
I ain't lying, but like everything about agriculture was real discouraging to me personally. Like I listening to him, cool. But you know how much I dislike sun.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. I could do
get
anything.
accustomed to it, man. Just get accustomed.
Nah, man.
Nah,
France know me. Boy, long like you wouldn't imagine. And sun is the issue. If like I could have hung out that in the night, I'd be just like you.
It has some people just
Big
walk the
jumps.
land and thing, full moon and thing, because
No, well, remember, like I
place for
said,
you, bro.
my brethren in the unknown location, they'll be,
Doing this thing at night.
under moonlight. They have cycles that they will have to.
Yeah.
Like I do even, honestly speaking, remember I come in this with zero knowledge. So everything I learn is from you today. But they was like, they would just mention it like, nah, I have a full moon tonight, so I'll be able to do this and this. But while they're talking, I literally just like smelling things and they're talking and I just like, wow. And like I can't, like literally I can't, the colors was like a candy shop. Like me and even selling in with dreams. Like them fellas,
You
were
were
real bad.
the kids in Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory, and they trying to
Yeah,
explain
literally,
things.
because if you feel like them
And
people
you
in
just,
Willy,
I want to
Dead
be a
factory.
blueberry.
if you feel like them kids in Willy Wonka wasn't doing the same thing that I was doing, well, bro, you need to grow up. That's like my concept of Elton John, basically, like real misguided. Those children in Willy Wonka that chocolate was edible, bro. Yeah.
So the course, before we get too far off course, what comes out of it? Puns. What came out of it? Because that to me was fascinating. I did not realize that we had this level of initiative in this country.
Okay, well, as I say, the certificate, a one-year certificate at UTT in agriculture and agri-processing technologies. Certificates from NAMDEVCO as well for good agricultural practices. We also did business management courses, how to start your business and grow your business with NEDCO. We got a daily stipend of $112.50, which didn't do much, but it definitely helped, But
Because
it's not
it
enough.
sounds better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but the program is also available to people ages 18 to 35. So some people, is big men and women, are trained to see about, and you tell them about $112.50, and you're directing the program towards people who have families and who don't have a stable place to live. People who live in apartments and they don't own land, they don't own their house. So, you're making me more vulnerable than I already is. Not me personally, because I was in a good enough place where I wasn't, affected to no great level. But I have a lot of friends and other classmates that.
Nah, but I wouldn't look at it like that, and I understand where you're coming from. But remember, if you doing that course and going through, I don't even want to say going through, like if you're enjoying something, but if you doing the course and receiving a stipend of $112, that means that you decided, and you're very sure about the direction you're going in, and this is what I need to do. And the stipend that's not the reason that you're doing it.
It's not the reason you're doing it, but it's, the literal currency that makes it easier or harder for you to achieve.
Yeah, I
the
think,
goal. So,
I think honestly you'd be doing it whether or not it had the stipend attached to it, because I wouldn't that is agriculture. It's not. I mean, not that agriculture. It's not my thing, but let's just make a real silly example. If somebody said, "Hey, foreign France, I want all to do this podcast and thing," and just like 100, like we'd have done it. We'd have done it for no money because it's like you're thinking about the potential, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, we are a corporate reality. You might start the podcast for the $100 a day, for $100 episode or whatever, but you're in the position that you're in now. If you're in a position where, you're down on the ground, you're down on the luck, and you're doing it for the love and the passion, sure, fine. But at some point, might be episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but at some point down the line, it's going to get tedious. It's going to be cutting into your free time. You could be hustling right now. Your children hungry. You have something to do. It's going to affect you. So I would say it's romantic, but unrealistic to say, yeah, you could have just tough it out. I was supported by my wife and my sisters, so I could easily say that. But I had people who had no support, people who missed real days and all kind of thing and had to pay consequences for that, people who had to drop out the program entirely because, they just couldn't sustain the family, So while the course is definitely a life changer, while you pursuing this, your normal life still going on, So some people, if it was their mother or their husband, their boyfriend, their wife, their girlfriend, friends, family, relative, people supporting them, whether is, they go by the MP office and asking, hey, I'm in a government program and I'm trying to do it, you see, you could help them out with a food card or something, people try different ways.
Yeah,
different
they found
avenues,
ways, yeah.
So, yes, having the grit will take you a certain distance, but it wouldn't necessarily carry you all the way past all the barriers and hurdles in front of you, So, I feel like, putting a magnifying glass on grit kind of discredits people whose situation not as advantageous as mine, and not as privileged as mine, So, yeah.
I remember that was one point that you made when you were writing. This is how I found out about the whole course in the first place, the program. Was that the stipend was such that, yes, it's cool, we get a stipend, but the sacrifice, the long-term vision had to be strong.
Yeah.
As well as your short-term circumstances had to allow that you could get to that long-term vision with this stipend.
Yeah.
Because it is life-changing.
Yeah. Because I didn't even finish talk about the benefits as the programs which France wanted to focus on. So like even past those benefits like I talked about with the training and everything and with the stipend, on top of that, upon completion you get a $20,000 grant to start your agricultural endeavor, as well as 2 acres of land to start the endeavor and a starter home, a 2-bedroom starter home on the land. So I agree with you wholeheartedly that the lack of
You crazy, yeah.
the
I mean,
lack
I
of
just
stipend of the value of the stipend was definitely made up, 100% made up in the benefits.
even if you had tell me that, me and you would be still arguing because you tell me and France right. 5 seasons after that, bro. Because and I know even only because I understand your vibes and things because you in a certain situation, so you don't want to really cry down and thing. But I telling you personally, like and I don't ever complain or nothing, but I will talk to friends and things like I losing like remember I just showing you a scene like I losing. Not only is this podcast like not really profitable, I losing, but I've mentioned it many times. It's like like it's something you believe in and it's great and talk plenty times. It'll be like friends pulling me through. I will sit down and be like, but yeah, I had to shine a light. You know what I mean?
Because even though there's a passion,
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I can tell you like, I know about grinding until sparks flying and thing, but
What we're saying is,
Not
if
everybody
he
had
knew at the end of 2 years he was getting $20,000
joke.
and a house and 2 acres of land,
Yeah,
you're
you would not want to
well,
hear what I say.
easy
But
peasy.
like I had mentioned it to people and all too, like how how you do things without any compensation is really speak plenty about your character. So it speak a lot about your character, and I know for sure I do have a 2-bedroom at the end of this, but nevertheless, dog, I could still sort out my scene and find a way to no, and not even to make this profitable. I could find a way to handle my scenes and continue doing this because I actually rarely get to I can't see myself just giving it up now because you see things like this. I'm not the only person who don't know nothing about agriculture. It have a youth man who go and watch this and say $20,000, boy, and I already like agriculture. But I just don't have I can't put together them ends to go and do a bachelor's or go and do this and let me try and do this because I know how bad I is, but I'll make it through the course. I get 112, so I wouldn't. That will stay me away from doing something else for, you know what I mean?
Because it's passage for some people, you know. I mean, it has some people who is living close to Ekiaf. Ekiaf is, you know, behind the airport. So it has some people who living in the east. It's not hard for them to reach the school, everything. But you know, there's some people who living down my side.
You definitely make pulling deuce going up there.
So it involved me getting up at 3:30, leaving home at 4 o'clock in the morning to reach up there for about 7:30. There from 7:30 to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on how classes run for that particular day. Then had a Friday evening traffic to reach back home 8 o'clock in the night. Still have my family to see about, which, you know, I don't always have time to see about. I had an inconvenience. My wife, who working from home as well, to help me and do certain things, you know.
And I understand you. I understand the vibes and thing, you know. So you don't have to take away from like that is. Your situation could be how thing. It still take plenty to do what you're doing though. To do what you did.
But I was trying to underscore your point at the same time, you know, because you can't discredit grit at the same time.
Yeah, I know, because it have men who had to go through all of that with all the support that you had.
Yeah.
So as amazing as it is that you managed to pull through that, like somebody had to really put the wheel on their shoulders and get up and pull it. But I mean, it's still our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Of course. But you see, the thing is, at the end of the day, to remember it uncertain is government at the end of the day, you know. Not saying that all government is set up people, it's just that certain things is work against the process. So for example, you know, it might have certain legal reasons why the government can't just do what they want. You know, they might have to get certain cabinet approvals, they'll have to get certain budget funding approvals and so on and so forth. They'll have to meet with other stakeholders and agree on certain things. And you know, all of these things will slow down the delivery time and the promises, you know. So even though they say, you know,
facts,
2 years we get in XYZ, 2 years pass and we get XYZ, but that's for, you know, different reasons. One part of the reason is a security issue because, you know, they had people firebombing Baku and thing down there and all kind of bacchanal and they had to bring down the army to, you know, to be down there and, you know, to stay down there and look out.
So additional cost.
You know, certain whatever kickbacks to the land, I don't know whatever delays with testing, you know, just little cross-threading with certain things, something hinging on something, you had to wait until that completed. So it's not an ideal situation, but it's a scene where, you know, we waiting to receive the benefits, but in the meantime, you know, you still had to figure out certain things. So whereas, you know, we planning, well, you know, again, with 20,000 at the end of the 2 years. And just had to function
you don't have to figure out certain things. You could afford to just wait and...
Yeah, you know,
all right,
I still have my sister land that I occupy right now, so I could still function, whereas somebody else, you know, they spend all this time training in agriculture, but they still had to go back by fence and you know,
you need it now. JG went with.
You don't have your business plan right out. You don't know you was going by the EDB for a loan. You don't know you was going and go through this process and that process, and now your hands tied and everything in limbo.
But could you leverage successful completion of that course with ADB for a loan?
Well, it's with the money. Remember, they're giving you the 20,000 grant. You go to ADB with the grant and you use that as collateral.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And, you know,
But also the land, I assume. I mean, you could also leverage the land. Yeah.
Well, you don't need to leverage the land. You know, they just need to be sure that you have control of the land and whatever. I mean, I don't think we could leverage the land because it's not ours to leverage. It's a license to occupy.
Okay.
Right. So that's an interesting point then. So it's not that you were given
At least.
2 acres of land in your name.
Your name. You're just getting to use it.
You getting to occupy
well, it's a
this
license
land.
to occupy right now, but they say it'll evolve to a lease. You know, I think it's after 3 years or 5 years or so, and you know, depending on your performance and everything, you could get extensions on your lease. So
Right,
we're trying
okay.
to avoid you being a waste of time using, you know, government resources, tax-paying dollars. So just, I don't know, open up a garage, any people please. So
Yeah.
Just do anything
people,
other than family
people love
land.
skulls. Yeah. So like, aside from the course, how did you further your knowledge? Like you're doing a bachelor.
well, the bachelor's came after.
After that,
So after I completed the certificate,
that wasn't enough for you.
Yeah, I find certain things didn't go as in depth as I wanted it to, and I wanted a more comprehensive understanding of certain aspects, concepts, etc. So, you know, I felt like if bachelor's would be the next step for me personally, for a number of reasons, because I didn't complete my geology bachelor's. So part of that is, you know, just doing it so that that mental block in my head away, but
Yeah,
on top
never
of time,
unfinished
you know,
business.
kind of thing. You know, this time I'm doing it in something I really want to pursue. You know, and you know, the opportunities it'll have to present itself. Because I don't know where I want to really take myself. As in, for example, you know, I tell people I wasn't always the most ambitious person because my vision for agriculture was to have my homestead, be fully selfish, well, not fully self-sufficient, but as self-sufficient as I could reasonably be. And, you know, make money, but not in no big commercial way because, you know, I'm doing plenty different things. So it's not to say I have any big, large focus product. 'Cause, you know, you're dabbling into everything if you're running a homestead.
When you say
and
plenty
you're
different things,
commercial.
you're doing plenty different crops.
Not in the traditional way you would think.
Oh.
So that would be exploring permaculture, which is a sustainable way of doing agriculture. So instead of growing, like having a bed with just tomatoes going down the line, you know, you would have like coconut trees as well as some breadfruit tree as well as pineapple underneath it. So you're creating a whole ecosystem.
So one benefit from the other.
Yeah, you know, and you know you're trying to build a soil fungal network and all this kind of stuff and whatever. So it's the most, how to put it, boy, it's the most sustainable, and you could get a high production from permaculture. Not as high as commercial agriculture, of course, because you have other plants taking up nutrients, taking up sunlight, so to speak. But you know, it's nothing to laugh at. Permaculture could feed real families and things. You know, it's
Coconut
just you're gonna
trees
have a
and
little bit of
pine.
everything instead of like nobody could come by and say, "Hey, I want 40 tons of pineapple." You're gonna have pineapple, but you know, you have pineapple. And
It makes sense. Yeah, right.
Industrially
Yeah.
produced. But I
Yeah.
imagine
you know.
for like something like permaculture, it would be plants that benefit from the shade of other plants and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
or
what-
they
that's
might
what I was wondering.
compete for nutrients, for the same type of
For the
nutrients.
same type of
you know.
nutrients, yeah.
And with a model like that, you might more do like cottage industry stuff. So I might more focus on making wines and honey and honey products and things, making
mead.
soaps and
I really
meat
want-
for France.
I really
and
want
thing, you
mead.
know. I might have meat chickens and things for myself and for my neighbors and thing. Might be smell. I could probably complete like a 10 orders a week or some kind of thing.
Right.
You know? Nothing big. I could probably do like a 20 crate of eggs for the week. You know, I might have milk goats and milk cows as the case might be, and I might be doing, let me see how much, 50 liters for the week or some kind of thing. So, but I might be using some for cheese. I might be using some to make butter. So, you know, it all over the place. It just depends on how you want to focus it, you know.
So you've been talking about honey and stuff. Were you were into bees? Into bees?
Yeah. It had happened purely by chance. I was interested in it, but at the time I know I had plenty on my plate. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to add something else that I had to take care of, that I had to focus on, that I had to learn entirely. So I was shelf bees for a while. And then the second farm I was doing my internship with for Yap, it had a big beehive in a citrus tree by the side of the road, right by a woman's house. And
Just a natural beehive?
yeah, and like it was there a long while now because people passing there all the time and cutting, they ain't getting sting because bees don't like loud noise and thing. And but like this beehive, like a day a while, it a custom smelling waka exhaust, car exhaust, hearing cars passing, loud music playing, B14 passing, playing Trinidad, all kind of thing, and just
And they
not
just
doing
breeze
nobody
in.
nothing, you know. And it's only when
9
CPAP
o'clock
passed
in
that
the
day.
morning.
It's only when CPAP passed that day, and the guy, he kind of raised the waka off the ground and was like kind of just like trimming the vines on the fence and thing that somebody bees come out, and he run one time, and well, we notice it. So we tell Tanti, you know, well, we gonna move it and thing, you know, give it till tomorrow, so by so, because we have to bring the equipment and thing. And the farmers that was Trent's Greens Nurseries in Barrackpore, shout out to him. He's a young farmer, and he's very advanced in, you know, the things he's doing and so on and so forth. Very knowledgeable guy too. So he had do an internship on a bee farm when he was doing his bachelor's, I believe. So, you know, we capture the bees, everything, strap it down in the van, and bring it down the road and set up my beehive and well, the bee box. And, you know, I had bees for a while. They end up escaping and going about their way because it have like a moth that is invade the hives and thing, and, you know, lay eggs and destroy the hive and so on. So that moth was present. Then bees say, yeah, but here's not an ideal place to stay. They move on from here. So I have none right now, but because of the experience, I had start building boxes and things. So I have equipment and thing.
You have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
So you can
So-
just start now.
I have a partner who
Oh, yeah.
he into it, but he waited until he reached down Chatham as well. He need a program as well. And we want to do some business together with the bees concerned.
So what like internationally, it's been a thing. In my mind, you don't kill bees.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're one of the largest pollinators, if not the largest pollinator.
And is there danger that we're going to lose the bees? Because I mean, I know a lot of mainstream media they thrive on fear mongering. And there was a thing some years ago, like, oh my God, we're gonna lose all the bees, and then all life on Earth will be dead the week after. So
I think I remember that.
it was so as it seemed, because they were talking about they had to develop robot bees because
Yeah.
the bees dying at such a rate.
You know, no other insects could, you know, kind of supplement
Could
pollination.
fill their role. Yeah, that's true. It will affect a lot, definitely, in terms of pollination and pollination rates and everything. But it's not just, there's a lot of different factors that bring in on the populations, you know. Urban sprawl, for example, you know, they lose their natural habitats and thing. The different types of pesticides and herbicides we people would use, you know, could poison them and kill them, so you could lose entire hives and things like that. Global warming too, because they have optimum temperatures that they operate at.
Okay.
So the rise in temperatures is affect their fertility and thing too. So, you know, you'll get...
Yeah, but the heat doesn't feel to bust my gun at all.
Last couple of days have been brutal.
Yeah,
Real weird,
It's
man.
been rough.
yeah.
But like every now and then I'll just find a random dead bee. What's like, do they just have a lifespan that
Yeah.
they'll just fall down dead on your floor? Or
I mean, it could be the heat. Bees do get dehydrated. You know, that is a thing. It could be a neighbor spraying some kind of old malaton or something. You know, mosquito they're trying to deal with or something. You know, it could be a number of different reasons. I know they have certain diseases that affect them, certain fungi that affect them and thing as well. But as I say, I'm not going to consider myself no kind of bee expert.
Right,
you know.
okay.
All my knowledge kind of cursory where beekeeping is concerned.
all right, but we could say for sure over the last however long we've been chatting that once you do get back into bees, are you gonna get mead?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you'll be doing, well, is better honey required? That's what it,
No, it's
Yeah,
just
you
bitter
ferment,
honey, not
you ferment
desirable.
the honey.
You know, and you'll get bitter honey depending on the source that it is taking the nectar from. So like certain trees like jamun, you know, jamun will give you some bitter dark
honey.
You know, there's affect the color as well too.
Oh,
Right.
so dark.
The
So
colour, the
darker
taste.
honey is more better, or is no? It doesn't.
No,
ma-
the bitterness is not really
Okay,
according to the
okay,
color.
okay.
You know, it just depends on the source.
I don't know.
like
Just asking layman.
Mahogany is something else that make it real bitter too. Apparently.
Okay.
I feel like when Patrick gets back into these, he and Devon could link up
For
and
sure,
sync up.
bro.
Yeah.
But one way or the other, I want mead.
That could be the layman's drink.
It could be. That'll be real vibes.
Like he could. I'm sure he could brew it, and Devon could infuse it with something. Because Devon is like
Campari.
very sick. Oh god,
I watched that episode today, you know, and I was like, Campari, boy.
bro!
You
If you had
anything, horse.
Campari and
I
coffee,
have-
you know, if you had
Well, I
tasted
did
that,
Campari
Do you
coffee
want
and
to
something
taste
else.
it? Because I have it in my fridge.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that would be interesting.
I'm coming back now.
yeah, bro. When I tell
Because
you,
I heard it that he only talking about it is on the
yeah, it was real mad. It was real mad. I don't like coffee. I don't want to say I don't like Campari, yeah, because I will drink Campari with orange juice, pineapple juice. It's not. I don't hate it, but coffee and Campari, I don't know how. But Devon is actually very skillful at like blending. He's a good. He's like right agriculture mixologist. You see
I
like
know
how
Devon, I know
you see like how
Devon.
you lean towards the agriculture.
My sister support him. I have a sister who's live in Atlanta, and every time she come down, she's buy bottles and thing, and like his different margarita mixes. Or
Yeah.
and thing.
His stuff is like it tastes. I want to say gourmet.
Yeah,
Like
just
a
have some
gourmet
real
daiquiri.
complex little taste
Yeah,
and thing,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
real
yeah,
subtle
yeah,
things. It
yeah,
doesn't seem like
yeah.
it was nothing extravagant.
And that
or
is
no
the
big set of
only way that
flavors.
you'll be able to combine Campari with coffee and make it work. You have to understand like the subtleties of, you know, a particular liquor's accents and, you know what I mean? And-
Now the coffee real strong, eh?
That's fine. I was listening to all you who don't like caffeine and this and that. And
yeah, I can't deal with caffeine.
I manage to drink coffee. I don't want to take too much at the same time too. It's not a big drinker at the same time.
I wouldn't advise drinking too much of that this hour, but
Yeah.
Now I hear how they
Sip.
talk about it and who's staying up and thing.
Nah, I did not sleep that night. I was wired until like 3 o'clock.
And these coffee smell real present. Powerful, like real kind of smoky almost kind of thing.
But the taste is not like what it first. It does taste like what it smells like, but it just have a sweetness. I'd even
Yeah, I only get any bitterness on the very, very tail end of the aftertaste.
yeah. After you get to enjoy the sip,
Yeah, you get
It's
kind of
like-
bush medicine kind of bitterness in the back.
yeah, like me, like how I do like sweet drinks and things. Man, that was literally perfect for me. Cause like the bit, like how I would drink Guinness and then the bitterness that again at the end is like
Yeah, it's
just right, and it takes a skill to blend a drink like that where the bitterness comes in at that time and this and that. So,
But to add on something that Devon was talking about, you know, like well, no, they were saying, oh, they didn't know so much agricultural produce was involved and everything, you know, like almost everything you consume is agri-processing, almost everything, and it could go real far. Like I remember one of the assignments we are doing UTT, we had to come up with a product, an innovative product. The product itself don't need to be super innovative. You don't need to reinvent anything, but you could take something existed and just find a different way to make it. So, you know, like boba, the tapioca process,
right,
cassava,
right.
you know. So,
I have no idea what boba.
Yeah, I just-
yeah.
well, anyway, it's cassava, tapioca,
Okay.
and it's the starch from it, basically. So, what Gail from our group had suggested we do was we make the pearls out of plantain starch. So we end up extracting starch from the plantain and thing to make we boba balls and thing, dehydrate it, you get a little white starch and thing, like a powder and everything. And, you know, it was a real interesting process.
And in comparison, with the plantain
starch.
starch come out sweeter than the cassava starch?
It had a slight kind of plantain banana aftertaste. It was real pleasant though. It wasn't overpowering, it wasn't strong, it wasn't out of place. It was amazing. And you know,
All right, so check this out. Like Devon's cousin actually has, I want to say, one of the first like bubble tea cantinas in Trinidad, right? Like she started it, and then people was like, "Oh, this is great," and then you know other people, no lie, and she buys like certain syrups and things that Devon would produce. But like that we talking about there, I think she would buy stuff like that, and she would know how to market it. Like her canteen is like one of the coolest little. She have a little like a Street Fighter, but I don't know, like Trinidad really have some innovative youths.
Yeah, it does. And then like let's say something simple like pineapple chow or something. You want to make pineapple chow. When you're done with the skins and thing, you could make wine with that.
Well, yeah, I know that.
You know.
I know that.
You could make alcohol with it. You could do all kind of different things, make different creams, different liqueurs, different extracts from it. You could do all kind of things. Use it for soaps. Use it for candles. For fragrances and candles, all kind of thing. You just had to know how to extract what you want. Without leaving, let me say, the sugar behind, so to attract ants and flies, for example. So it's real interesting. I want to delve into it more, so I want to take more courses geared towards it. But there's a lot of heavy science and things too.
Well, personally, if there's anything else I could learn in this episode, I would be appreciative, and surprised at the same time. But I don't know if you wanna like get anything else out to do with, like, I already know I need to check Patrick for my training.
Your grow box.
Yeah.
You're done already. You're done already. Have not checked Devon. You're gonna check Patrick.
I feel like
now.
I'm gonna check that one tonight, big to big, because I'm already in the area. So
Big up Devon.
big up
Yes,
you,
big up
Beans.
I still have your stuff.
Big up you
Beans.
every time.
I
And,
need a bigger bottle.
I'm feeling like I break the fourth wall kind of way, because as I say, I was watching this episode this morning.
Nah, that's real good vibes.
Yeah.
To hear all the talk about
I'm glad somebody else could sample this deliciousness.
Nah, that's facts. And like,
I actually saw Devon yesterday, and he said you're gonna start producing to sell.
yeah,
Nah, that's
because
what
he
it was.
he messaged me like from the episode that we did. Somebody contacted him. He's like, "Hey, I didn't know from the episode itself. Hey, I didn't know you did Negronis," and they reached out to him with like an order request. So he messaged me and he was like, "Yeah, thanks, that guy." So I was like, "Bro,
Mission accomplished.
like, yeah, that is
Awesome.
what this is about." And like what I was telling you about the boba stuff, just from hearing you talk and thing, it looked like yeah, you have like a real kind of thirst for knowledge, and like you want to diversify as much as possible. So, watch all the episodes so you would know, like, hey, I want to get agricultural land. Let me contact Heart and Co.
Heart and Co Realty.
Heart and Co Real. So it's like a little network we kind of developing. You know what I mean? And then you do the boba pearls. You reach out to Devon. You could collaborate. You like your crops or whatever he can't actually produce because of his the land itself is not like available to him. He could always supplement that.
Yeah, but I mean, like within agriculture too, it have like I have a friend who does some amazing work. His name is Steve from Ibis Farms. He does microgreens, like the nice little garnishes and thing. You've seen them restaurants, like little seedling looking things. Those are superfood. Those extremely rich in nutrients, energy, everything. So yeah, eat your garnish.
Serious?
Yeah.
I just fling that away outright.
Yeah.
Outright.
You just train away nutrients.
Vex and
You
all
can't
that.
big and choke.
What's this doing? This still have no protein in it.
Get out.
No protein, no creatine.
But yes.
Yeah, but you do need more than protein and creatine, guys.
Of
Trust me.
course. So he'll do like these vertical farm basically in a kind of way. So it's like shelves with lights and thing underneath the bottom part of the shelves, and he'll have like these trees that just like seedlings, So he'll take it out, package it and thing, sell it to restaurants, sell it to hotels, sell it to supermarkets and thing.
I just dream
And
about
it
a setup
doesn't
like
take a
that
lot
with
of
like
space, it's
the
just-
shelves and the lights and everything.
Yeah.
But with something else.
Yeah, not fucking superfood. Mad.
Just take plenty, have plenty electrical costs. You gotta find out.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to sell out. None of my
did you
boys.
Did you watch The Gentleman
On
on Netflix? Not the original movie, which was also decent, but the series on Netflix.
I just feel like I did, and I just can't remember the name because of this stiff drink that you.
Yeah. That's
Or
the
for
one
me-
where the father died and he leave behind property and thing, and he had a marijuana farm. And
Yeah, like underground
was watching
in
that.
containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
it's
it
a
had like a
decent series.
rival gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Some woman
Yeah.
who has some needles in him, all kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it was, there was a
Giancarlo
movie,
Esposito.
and then there was that was the series. The series was decent. I feel like you'd appreciate it, or you'll take some lessons.
I think I saw that like like I hate to say it, but once is like what's the name of this? The Black Widow.
Marvel.
No, not Black, not Black Widow. I think it was the Black Widow, but the Colombian one though. Yeah, the woman
Griselda.
Griselda Blanco.
Blanco, yeah.
Yeah, Griselda Blanco. Like her nickname was the Black Widow. Not the Marvel. Yeah, I ain't knowing that. That like these movies fascinate me, and it just what like my takeaway from this is like don't stick. Take your suitcase of money and retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
My takeaway is don't get involved at all. But
That's honestly my takeaway.
Nah, but
because
that's-
everybody loves like Scarface and thing, and they
Yeah.
do like watch the end of the show. What's up? Like
For
what's
me-
happened to them?
I like the idea of Scarface things.
From
but I don't
nothing to
wanna do
something.
Scarface things at all because I
Yeah.
don't want Scarface.
No, but check it.
consequences.
Like, and
You know?
That's
so
my thing.
we'll
Yeah.
go.
That's
So
my thing.
let's take a detour in this episode. Like, for me with Griselda Blanco, I mean, I don't want to promote this.
I said already on this
Disclaimer.
very episode we do not promote illegality, the breaking of laws.
but I
Definitely not trafficking anything.
I just love like how the way she was networking and like her business model, work ethic, everything. But you see, it's like you don't want to get up to that commercial scale.
I mean,
Every single think about every single Ozark, Narcos, everything like it was going good, you know. Just stop. You're good.
I
You're good. You're
find-
good.
Yeah, but they don't ever know when to stop.
That's exactly because it have no way to know. You know, it always have a one
Yeah,
more walk,
what the
one more
point of no
shipment, one more
return
this.
is?
You know, you're weighing it up, you're lying to yourself about, oh, you're doing this for your family, you're trying to justify it all how.
But
by the end of the
I
day,
don't know about it.
like, if I had to do something like that, I had like no family whatsoever. I was the last man standing in my lineage. I had nobody to rely on, and it's like, dog, fleck it. This is my movie. This is my life. You know, but nah, boy, I just find it hard too much for me personally to lose, for me to ever get myself involved.
Yeah,
in any
I
kind
already
of
don't
shit
sleep
like
well. Like I don't need to sleep even worse.
Yeah.
Knowing
No,
it
but
as
you see, as
somebody
soon
or
as
they're
you,
trying to bust my throat.
as soon as you start to live bad and thing with people, like dies when it have no turning back.
No,
and
but
I t-
even if you're leaving good people, they will be like, but he's a mux boy. Let me rob he for his shipment and
no.
kill he, boy.
You don't have to like what I'm saying. It don't ever have to be like that. You know, like you could be operating at a level where it is required from time to time that I like just flex on people a little bit, and then as soon as you realize, I'm telling you, as soon as you realize like I had to keep flexing on this man, that man, whatever. Then it's like, all right, I run up the numbers, and France just keep on trying me. I just go and be like, all right, boy, France, boy, you take
Out.
win. And France, and it's not like if France going to be coming after me, you know, because remember in like a rival's head, it's like, yeah, I tell her the man was soft and thing, and you go ahead, France.
But that way you think, but it's like me, right? I know I paranoid, very paranoid. So I know if I get involved in that, and I know France is my competition, someday he going to come for me, but I kill you tomorrow.
No, but
You
I
know?
was saying, I am not coming. You remember you're
Nah,
not
it's
you're
have no
coming.
going and let me go because I too small under the radar. I just go in and feel the come. But the way I just look at it, I just see real small situations where you think, boy, that don't have to be involved in that. They don't have to reach that far. But just because it's real small men with real small mentalities living in a real small barrel, they go in and step on each other. And
No, but it's
Fully
like
dance.
not saying that you'll never have to worry about anybody, but I wouldn't have to worry about France specifically because he not studying me because I remember I go down, I like, all right, boy, France take win, and I go down and start to do my little boba fruit thing with beans, and France go and be like, but I not even focusing on it because remember
I
that's how
am not going to believe you. This man Just wanna
Is he money laundering front here?
Yeah, this man just gonna ups and nah, he coming back. He is playing possum.
France mightn't study here, but I studying here. I watching how you rising through the ranks. I watching.
No, but I'm not rising again. You know, I stop.
It don't matter. I don't know that. I don't know your business. I don't know what moves you are going on in my
No,
mind.
listen. You feel no. I talking from experience with men preying me and thing. I mean, I know you wouldn't know me, but I been through men preying me. I tell you, after a while, they'll just be like, and there's asks, or other people will ask, and it's like, what going on with you, but I ain't seeing you, I ain't hearing you, but now I just, cool and deadly. And that
Did
is
it involve millions of dollars?
Not,
Did it involve people money, people drugs, people guns?
Vaughan about to plead the fifth.
nah,
I
not
find
millions
I
and thing,
hear
but
too much stories and see too much and hear too much from movies and thing. I ain't talking about no real life. I had no kind of proximity to nothing. But I just find like, these things, these stories ain't come from nowhere now. These stories.
No. I can tell you personally. Like I lived through some railway situations and all too.
Studies,
and
the interview people.
I can tell you people that's literally just not be on you again once they listen. If they realize, like, not to say like you're suffering or nothing,
Yeah.
But you just rock all the way back, and it's like, and you could do it, because I know people who have done. It's like, all right, boy, I good.
I done.
I get. I can't be going through all this Jones. And there's some people that have one or two people who does know, but the majority do not, because they're like, nah, well, I can't go back to that. You know what I mean? And it have some people who come from nothing, and it's like, but it's not really a problem to go right
personal
back.
choice,
Yeah.
man go do Patrick.
I feel like if I try and encourage
That
is what it is.
which is what I am
Sounding
not.
You suck like a
what it
fed,
is
bro. You
sounding
suck
like.
like set up like this.
One friggin' nah.
One big man thing. I had
I
20
have
kilos coming in tonight.
why.
Waiting on Patrick.
Serious, Patrick?
Waiting on Patrick just selling himself out.
Holy Michael. Which part you get?
When you went so Nah, but that's good vibes, man. Like all the stay in school, That's the message to take
Please.
away from. That's the message to take away from this. But all kicks and fun aside, I real like the program and all. Like, remember, if you this has happened when you feel like you don't have a outlet, and then you just start to get through, and you just don't want to go back to when you was flat on the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that is what has happened to people like Scarface and this and that and whoever. But when you was talking about the program, that just sounded like a real plus. And that was even before I hear about the $20,000, the land, the house, and thing. I know the delay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I could understand it have a delay and everything, but I mean, I hate to say it. But I don't think that young people understand how useful having
They don't.
a diverse skill set is, or even like not only having a diverse skill set, but just like really specializing in your skill set. Either one. You know what I mean? You could give yourself options and gradually like focus on the one that you like the most or is the most profitable. And if you really pay attention to the story, that's what he did. Like he was doing different things, and then it's like this wasn't like panning out. So it's like, all right, well, I have the opportunity to focus on this now because I was kind of, you know what I mean? I have things kind of laid out in this direction already. So let me try this. And you were still working in Trinidad, and it's like, again, making more footsteps down this path, and, So, like, now that you realize the benefits of this path, you're, like, specializing it, you're doing the courses, your bachelor's, and, you're diversifying within this sector of agriculture here now. Mm-hmm. So, I honestly find that is really, really incredible. That's real vibes, dog. Facts.
I appreciate that. Imposter syndrome doesn't allow me to feel the same way.
Well, so many people we've had on here.
Yeah, you need to watch. You
syndrome.
need to watch the rest of the episodes.
Nah, it's just a normal part of the human psyche.
It is.
Facts. No, it is. It definitely is.
And if it's one thing people could eventually take away from the various episodes where incredible people are like, yeah, nah, imposter syndrome. But it's like, if you feel like you have imposter syndrome, everybody sitting down in that boardroom with also have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But I mean, not all of them. Some of them are, feel like they deserve to be there for whatever reason. But you could wing it just like they're winging it, and get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just always about the discipline and the purpose and intent of focusing your energy and your time towards your goals.
And you also bat in your
Never
crease.
easy.
If you speak to what you know, then you're not an imposter. You know what you know.
Yeah. I think, it's just people trying to juxtapose reality with where they see themselves or where they want to be, And because you'll always gain new perspective, new knowledge, new information, new methods, new techniques, everything, that finish line will always be going further and further down the road, and you'll always be kind of chasing it. So, I guess part of it is just learning to be content with where he is in your journey.
Correct.
But
also
That's so
allowing yourself
crazy,
to
yeah.
realize where you are in your journey.
Yeah.
And that you reach here.
Yeah.
I find that so crazy because it's not it really isn't that easy because you have to allow yourself to be content and you still have to be like hungry for more just to keep life itself moving now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that I think different people will struggle with to different degrees, but like I feel if you balance it well enough, like that is the recipe for life. If you're too content, that is a problem, and if you're too hungry, that is what has
That's
happened to
a problem as
Scarface
well
and
too,
yeah.
You have to find balance in everything,
Yeah, yeah.
moderation and everything,
Yeah, current contentment and a desire to be more.
Like remember that's literally like one extreme is Scarface and the next extreme is like
I guess just a bum.
yeah. I don't know anybody personally who's on that extreme. I try to surround myself with you guys.
No bums. Yeah.
No shade to
Bums.
you bums. All right, like I know
That was shade.
I know one of these days you'll pick yourself up and stop watching Andrew Tate videos and
Yeah,
that's an
just-
entirely different
no
Just tell
subsection of
yourself
humor.
one day,
yeah
like
like
just go back to posting memes.
yeah do stop studying what next man doing like how much time I know not that I've never listened to Andrew Tate but it just occurred to me like so every day you need this man to tell you what to do every day
That's crazy.
That crazy to me. I will just browse through and see like the status. I'm like, that's actually cool, but I'm not actively following people. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But I already know what I am doing or what I need to do.
Yeah.
So when you might get a little reinforcement, but I know it have people who will sit down there and it's like, I wonder what Andrew Tate wants me to do now. And like, bro, I already know.
Well, some of them went further and they paid for Hustlers University and all kind of
Yeah, but that's real, man. And this is just to tell you how you. That's just the extreme of it now. Like I, no hate or anything, but like I will look at other like these motivational things and be like, yeah, that makes sense. So at least I know, like it's relatable now because that's my mindset too. But I don't need you to tell me. I already know.
tell me, yeah.
I literally
Yeah.
already know these things.
Like for me, motivation. If I had to watch a motivational video, I wouldn't go and seek it out per se. Nothing wrong with seeking it out, but it would more so be something that focuses on grit or building a foundation based on discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And the foundation, getting up and starting is the hardest part, that kind of thing. Because like I remember one of his videos I'd come across a time and I was like, people just really watch this cringy strippiness and get motivation from it by like it's just so
They do, but they don't
100 coming at you and it's like
I feel like they don't get motivation to actually do anything. Like they just use that to be validated in their entitlement,
yeah.
and then they just continue to sit there
Because it'll say some
and
strippiness.
feel like I deserve something.
Yeah. Walk in a room with the man that everybody knows you to some kind of strippiness. and
Yeah,
it's like,
you see those this like that a lot, and like for me, I like the selfish part of me is be like, yeah, you just continue wasting time doing that, and I'm gonna be getting up and
I'll be over here.
actually doing it. Because remember, just like you were saying, like remember your situation will be different. So that $112 mightn't
Carry the distance you want
mightn't carry you the distance. It might carry a next man the distance.
Yeah,
it
for
might
sure.
not carry a next man the distance, but he still have that like superior grit and still get you. Like it's so many different
Yeah.
scenarios. You are listening to a scenario that is being presented to you by a man who's already a millionaire, and thinking that this is applicable to your life is absolutely barnacles.
It's crazy.
As well as how he became a millionaire, but we
And
don't
yeah,
talk,
nobody even talk about that.
don't talk about Andrew Tate way too much
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
facts,
deserve
facts,
that time
facts.
and energy.
on our
So you
podcast
move on.
about agriculture.
Exactly.
Wrapping up the podcast
Wrapping
about
up.
agriculture.
Wrapping up, I want to big up the Ministry of Youth and National Service.
Youth
for
Development and National
Youth Development and National Service, because the initiative is incredible. It is the envy. I'm going to try to talk over this. It's so bloody loud.
All right, let
I
me take it
can't
down.
hear myself over it.
All right, go ahead,
Anyway,
go ahead.
it is the envy of Up the Islands, apparently, according to Patrick. And yeah, this one
This is cool.
kind of,
Yeah, that's workable.
yeah, it
Yeah.
workable.
It's not overbearing.
So big up the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, and big up Patrick for going through it.
And also
coming
big
out
up
on the other
Vaughn for
side.
adjusting the applause volume too.
Big
Yeah,
up
you
Vaughn
know,
for adjusting
your
the
Jackie
applause
jacket.
volume.
All right, sure, yeah.
And big up Patrick for coming through and giving us his time, because he coming from far.
Yeah, dog.
And it late. I have
Facts.
nothing
Facts
to
to facts.
toast. I mean,
Franz,
it's not my empty glasses
Franz
toasting. I
literally
cannot
just had to walk upstairs.
just do this. Toast empty glasses.
Franz going upstairs and sleep.
Yeah.
But next thing too, as
And
you
we
talk-
have our own separate adventures to go on.
Yeah, life. Pressures are life. But yeah. So the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, they
Inside
have so
joke.
many different other programs as well.
It's nice.
It is. It really is. It's just
Yeah, nice. It's that real bad,
fluffy in your
dog.
face.
Big up you by Beans.
Big up the green bartender.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
them Beans up, boy. I don't want to really go point for that. But Beans be up like
it's
what
so
kind of
good.
weird hours.
Let me go message him and see.
Beans
But
be
yeah.
like, hey, you know what I was thinking, Vaughn? This was a really, and it's like, I mean, I know why I'm up. Why you up?
Why are you up?
Yeah,
But
go
yeah.
ahead.
So they have plenty other little programs and thing as well. You know, they have like the youth aquaculture program. So that focuses on aquaculture, so like farming fish, tilapia, or shrimp, as the case might be. I don't know much about the program, so I can't really speak on it if it offers stipend and thing. I'm just aware of it. You know, they have the shade house program, where you learn how to operate and manage shade houses.
Yes,
up
we
in Tucker
learned
Valley.
from Devon that we don't have greenhouses in
We have
Trinidad.
shade houses. Then
It's hot enough.
Yes, for sure.
yeah. Then it have like other smaller programs, like there's one called what's the name of it, boy? I can't remember the name, but what it focuses on is teaching you how to operate heavy equipment, so backhoe, bulldozers, rollers, skid steers, everything, and certifies you in it. They have ones for sound engineering. They have the chill program, which teaches you about trains you to be an AC technician. They have one called pipe for plumbing. You know, they have a
The sound engineering, like real, like everything else is you know, correlates. But then it's like sound engineering and
I mean,
AC.
it have cosmetology. It have plenty different programs. And then
And if it's one thing we learned a couple years ago with COVID, is certain jobs are essential. And some of these skills that you just called there are the ones that are essential. Because no matter what going on in the world, if your pipes clog, you need a plumber.
Franz made a supreme point there, and I think I was talking about that to somebody just the other day. Like, you know, there are people who are like now emerging past their like trauma and PTSD and realizing like, hey, my skill set is once again in demand. You know what I mean? So, and that's like things I sure that plenty of people was going through, and I talked to some some younger people about that, like, hey, remember, like, what you are really good at is in demand now, so you can just kind of, let me just say, like, the next pandemic might be 10 years from now.
100 years from now. Do not call another pandemic in my lifetime.
No.
Please, I am not going through this again.
But
Not going through it again. It is 100 years from now. It has
100
been
years
timed.
from now. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Spanish flu was
Yeah, like
1924,
Yeah.
1914.
That was back when
Yeah.
Titan was training people. and
Yeah, that's when he was getting certified.
in the
And then we had
1900s.
COVID, 2020. So, yeah, so it's 100 years from now.
From now. And
Right.
go. Yeah.
No, that's all. That's the only point I wanted is not 10 years from now. Do
All
not
right,
do me
it's not,
that.
No, it's not. It's not. Relax, guys. But yeah, and like experience comes in handy a lot, because you could always be like, I have been through this, so I could tell you where's
Yeah.
how you go in and how you come out too. So
So
that's
like
one of the perks of being
consultancy is
old.
the next thing,
Consultancy. I didn't reach that point as yet. I can give sage advice on certain things.
Well, you see, the thing is, for some reason, people just want me to do certain things. So I have a sister that just want me because she know I'm somebody who not gonna sell her dream. She's not somebody gonna, lead her down a path where she wasting her money and she trying to do some investments in agriculture. So she tell me she want to work with me, even though I let her know, girl, it's not the best at the best, so by so. But if this is what she wants, it have people who knowledgeable in certain areas and thing, You will lean on them, you'll call them, you will get experience from them, you'll get them to come and do a site visit. They get paid for the time, everything. So even though I might know everything, I have access to people who have years of experience in the field. Because to be honest, I find I'm not in a place to be telling nobody how to run the business and thing, because I don't find I reached there yet. But if this is what you need, it have a solution to every problem. It's not unattainable. It's not something that we have to reinvent the wheel for. It have processes in place already. It have suppliers in place already. It have people who doing the packaging, people who doing the printing, people who doing the bottles, people who doing the chemical analysis, the food safety analysis, everything.
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, like, just knowing, like, each and every one of these people is
Is an asset in itself.
That is consultancy territory there.
Exactly. And not just that, but you are you. Like, she don't need top of the line, whatever expert in this with X amount of accolades. You have enough skill
Vibes.
and knowledge.
You have enough vibes.
As well as you are you. Like, I take something as simple as personal training. Very few people could claim to be the actual most educated personal trainer and whatever. Everybody has just about the same kind of skill set. Who want to say they're better than everybody else? Cool.
I mean, that's cool. It
Cool,
really
bro.
boils down to the
Who
interaction
you are.
itself, yeah.
Yeah, some people want somebody to scowl at them whole day and crack whip because that's what they need. Other people with the same knowledge base as the one who's just more laid back, they're there to count reps and chat with you while you're going through, and that's just what you need to get at that time. And it's no competition. You are you. So don't sell yourself short.
True.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that is about it there. I done hearing they calling friends upstairs. So thank you guys once again for joining us on the Laymans Project for some drinks. Home by friends with our guy Patrick, and yeah, we are gonna see you all really soon. So
So check out, before we bust out, check out Ministry of Youth Development and National Service for their myriad courses. There might be a course there for you.
Yeah.
There may or may not be a stipend in it. You're probably not going to get 2 acres of land with each course, but
There are many opportunities available.
there are many opportunities, and big up the ministry for these initiatives.
and you will not have to go out like Griselda.
Or Scarface.
or Scarface.
Don't break the law, y'all, please.
We are not in support
We don't condone it.
of those
You didn't
types.
get enough licks as a child or
of
something. Why
initiative.
your mind just straight?
No,
I
Nothing
I get licks
righteous.
from other people's
Nothing
parents.
righteous.
Then lock off before we go down this road. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been us. See you all next time.
don't know.
See you next time.
Deuces. And Eagle Eye viewers will notice Dwayne is not with us in the 519 C-Suite tonight. Big up 519 anyway.
Still same way.
Dwayne is here in Trinidad for a very short time, so we actually came to him, and we are at
His gym.
what I just discovered is his gym, Hit Fit Gym in St. James. So thanks for welcoming us in your back room as well. So we have a kind of underground feel here. I like it. What was your stepping stone?
For me, it was wrestling, right? Like, being and watch my reels and follow me and stuff. Like, I came from a my childhood was kind of messed up. My dad, when I was like really young, like 4 years old, was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So my mom was left to raise 4 boys on her own. So we all got split up and divided. And by the time I got to high school, I ended up living with my aunt and uncle in New Jersey. They took me in because my mom couldn't spread. And then I was a little messed up, right? Like, because I had no stability and we were always moving. So first time in life I had a little bit of stability, and then my wrestling coach, I was really good at basketball, and then I got kicked off the basketball team for a little scruffle. And then my wrestling coach came in. Remember Christmas Eve, I came to the house, and my aunt came upstairs and was like, "Hey, your wrestling coach is at the door." I'm like, "Wrestling coach? I don't have a wrestling coach." And I went back to sleep. By the time I can close my eyes, guy sitting on my bed, he's like, "Yo, I heard you're a good athlete. We're looking for someone to wrestle 112, right about your weight class." I'm like, "Wrestle? What's that, like WWF?"
What are you doing in my bedroom?
Who let you in? Mom!
Yeah. So I was like,
I didn't have the recipe because of the work ethic. I wasn't training every day, and that's no fault of mine. That's just the fault of the system. And when I met Dwayne, he was the only guy that will train every day, twice a day. And he showed me the way of the samurai, and I saw he beat me up every day for nearly about flicking 8 years or something like that every day, because I was his number one training partner. So I get my backside whoop every day.
You keep saying that like it's a good thing. I mean,
Iron sharpens iron.
no, like
So-
the way he says it, I'm hearing it. I'm like, is this my? He's like, he beat my ass every day. Sounds like, every day doing, used to cook a little curry duck and thing for me to. Like, he beat my ass every single day.
Every day. I got no lie.
I'm looking at his face and it's like, am I hearing correctly? What?
I got tapped out by this guy over 1 million times, and because of that, when I go
Still
with
doing it.
yeah, yeah, and
You see how hard it is to explain to people who don't grapple and then what it's
No,
like.
Well, remember, like
fight.
when I started, like little martial arts thing was with Franz and Maurice and Jose a long time. But like them used to real kick me up, and I was like, I telling you, I just
gonna lift weights and get big.
I was like, by fuck. That was it. I almost get knocked out from Maurice. The spin kick hit me home by you. I was
he
fed
hit
up.
Leo that same spin
I was
kick
fed
too.
up,
That was
fed up.
hysterical.
I wish I was like a better fighter, but France and them just tip that out off the table. From
You see, it's all about perspective. He get beat up, he cherish it. You get beat up,
because
you run
I'm
away.
like, he's talking, and I trying to imagine like what kind of licks Dwayne will be giving out, like this enjoyable licks. That's
well, I mean, he's not a mean guy. There have mean guys out there that will hit you. Like, Dwayne
Like
never
Maurice.
rocked me or anything like
I was gonna say that Maurice.
He
was
never
real.
rocked me or anything like that. Not to say he didn't have the power. Well, I lie. I got rocked. Probably coming later down. The last time he hit my head kick when he was here and, retain the
Well, by
favor.
then he's a professional, so I mean, you
but
can take it.
he never take advantage and unnecessary power and stuff like that. I get beat up,
Yeah,
but
Maurice
it was
again.
He always bring it down to my level, but I got tapped out 1 million times, and that's painless. So, yeah, it worked. The remedy worked.
Well, now I understand because my experiences were painful, but yeah.